Raza and his friends, Ali, Bilal and Samir, had heard about an old abandoned mansion located on the outskirts of the city. It was said that whoever entered never returned or went insane. Some people claimed that screams could be heard from the mansion at night, and that white shadows appeared in the darkness. One night, driven by curiosity, they decided to enter the mansion. The darkness and silence was so deep that every sound echoed eerily. They saw broken doors and swinging windows moving despite the absence of wind. As they stepped inside, they noticed old handprints on the walls and stains of dried blood. While searching around, they found an old diary with a chilling message. "If you're reading this, turn back. You will never leave." Raza quickly shut the diary, but suddenly, a door slammed shut on its own. Samir screamed, "This isn't a joke. We need to get out." Ali shone his flashlight around, and at the end of a dark hallway, they saw a shadow slowly moving toward them. The friends tried to run, but something unseen grabbed their legs, holding them in place. One by one, they vanished into the darkness. Only Raza remained. When he turned around, a strange face was staring at him, grinning. Its eyes were blood red, and its mouth stretched unnaturally, as if it wasn't human but something else entirely. The next morning, when people came near the mansion, they only heard a bell ringing and a chilling voice whispering, "Now you are one of us." From that day on, Raza was never seen again. People say that anyone who dares to go near the mansion can still hear the screams of his lost friends. Sammy was traveling on the 1 a.m. train. The compartment had only a few passengers, all sitting quietly in their seats. He suddenly felt an eerie chill in the air. Out of nowhere, a ghostly man sat down right in front of him. The stranger had an unsettling grin on his face, and his eyes glowed red. Sammy quickly looked away, but when he glanced back, the man had disappeared. He turned to look out the window. Everything outside seemed normal, yet his heart pounded with fear. The train stopped at a deserted station. Sammy looked outside but saw no one. Suddenly, an announcement echoed through the speakers. "This is the train's final journey. It will never return." A wave of panic hit him, and he tried to get off the train, but his feet felt glued to the floor. He looked around in horror as the passengers sitting beside him started dissolving into thin air. A woman sitting next to him turned towards him. Her face was melting and blood dripped from her hands. "You will join us too," she whispered, her voice turning into a piercing scream. Sammy let out a terrified cry before everything went black. When he regained consciousness, he found himself lying in an old, abandoned train yard. The train was gone. There was no trace of it ever existing. Those who had traveled on it had become a part of it forever. Even today, some say that at 1 a.m. a mysterious train arrives, carrying passengers who never return. Aram was walking home at 2 a.m. To save time, he decided to take a shortcut through a narrow alley. As soon as he entered, the wind picked up, and he suddenly felt as if someone was walking behind him. When he turned around, there was no one there, but he could feel an invisible presence watching him. His footsteps quickened, but the faster he walked, the closer the shadows seemed to get. When he turned around again, he saw a little girl standing in the middle of the alley, dressed in white. She was crying, and her eyes were completely black. Aram thought she was a lost child, but as he approached her, a chilling smile crept onto her lips. Suddenly, her face started to change. It turned pitch black, ghostly, and her eyes began to glow red. "Stay with us. Forever," her voice echoed all around him. Aram fell to the ground, frozen with fear. He felt an unseen force grab his throat. The next morning, people passing through the alley found only his shoes. There was no sign of him anywhere. It is said that whoever sees the girl in that alley never returns. Even today, at exactly 2 a.m., those who pass through can hear the eerie laughter of the little girl. And those who hear it are never seen again.